Welcome to Teq Tuesday, where we bring you technology insights that power the equipment finance industry.
Welcome to Teq Tuesday. Today's topic, why your syndication strategy isn't actually about syndication at all. It's about where your money comes from. Lisa Corby from Verdant Commercial Capital walked us through 3 completely different syndication strategies in 3 years, and it had nothing to do with changing lenders.
It really depends on the capital source of the equipment leasing company that you are working for. And just over the last few years with Verdant Commercial Capital, we've had some large changes there. So when I first came on with Verdant Commercial Capital, we were utilizing our warehouse lines of credit. But as we were growing 35% year over year, and those warehouse lines were filling up faster and faster, we started utilizing securitizations to unload those warehouse lines of credits while also doing monthly syndication pools, which, I largely managed. And that was to keep those warehouse lines balanced, also to manage the risk of single name credits or different equipments, the different types of critical numbers and percentages and risk-based details that have to do with those warehouse lines of credits.
So when you're growing 35% year over year, your warehouse lines fill up, and they fill up fast, which means syndication isn't optional. It's a survival tactic. But then things changed again.
And then most recently on October 1st, we were acquired by Axos Bank out of San Diego. And now we're able to utilize their deposits as our capital. So now our strategy is changing again, and it's not so much about focusing on the balance of our warehouse lines of credits. Now it's more focused on the types of capital and then, of course, those single name exposures. So through the years, our strategy has changed. And of course, my strategy on how to execute our syndications has changed along with it.
3 different capital sources, 3 completely different reasons to syndicate. Christian asked the obvious question: how does that change things upstream?
I think that training goes upstream and downstream. And then, of course, we had one individual our VP of Finance, who is always watching our warehouse lines of credits with the strategy of creating a securitization that would be attractive in the market. So yes, it's training upstream to credit and sales of what will be attractive in that warehouse line of credit, but also sales and credit kind of, training back to me of what opportunities do they have? What vendors are they working with? What type of equipment are they looking at? So I think it's a collaborative effort on creating the right mix for the balance sheet.
Creating the right mix for a balance sheet, which is a fancy way of saying your capital source dictates what deals you can even write. And now with bank deposits behind them, the strategy is flipping again.
We're gonna flip the process. We now have what we are liking to call unlimited capital because we're utilizing the deposits of Axos Bank. So now we're in the process of opening our buy desk, which is, it's flipping that MAA, instead of selling the deals, we're buying the deals, or, kind of just flipping it on its head. So we're in the process of opening up a buy desk for large ticket deals and then also portfolios of at least $1 million plus.
From how do we sell deals to stay alive to we're buying portfolios in 3 years. Meanwhile, Greg at Elm Blue had a different take on why syndication strategy sticks around regardless of capital source.
Well, again, we'll talk more about this, but the faster way to say yes, to balance that exposure and make sure you have we talk a lot about certainty of execution. And, we find that having the right mix of partners there and keeping everybody happy is huge. It's a really important strategy. It's a strategy for us that will not go away. I don't see it ever being a change. Syndication plus warehousing and held balance sheet deals will always be a mix for us.
Even when you have capital, you still need to manage concentration risk and keep saying yes to deals that don't fit your balance sheet perfectly.
I think our vendors, and we primarily go to market focused on vendor originated business. And I think we're probably put a lot of pressure on ourselves to be the best partner we can for our vendor relationships. So I think a lot of that pressure is created internally, right? I just think it's about making sure that we have the best product we could possibly put to market as our company to serve our customers and our vendors' needs the best.
Here's the thing nobody tells you. Your syndication strategy isn't really about finding the right partners or building the perfect scorecard. It's about where your money comes from. Warehouse lines means you're syndicating to survive. Bank deposits mean you're syndicating to manage risk. And if you're growing fast enough, your entire strategy might flip in a year. So maybe design your systems to handle that. That's it for our syndication series. We'll catch you next Teq Tuesday. Thanks for watching Teq Tuesday. You can watch the full webinar for more credit automation insights or visit northtech.com to see how we're helping lenders put these ideas into practice. See you next time.